everyone. It's Lighthouse Angel Messages. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a great start to your week. Happy Monday. So I was called for a message to deliver to you this morning, and it's a little lengthy, so you might just want to go back to it if you feel called to or not, but I feel it's important. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on that. And then I already got some cards for the overall energy. I'm going to actually pull more to add to this, and then we'll get some messages from the Lighthouse box. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started reading this to you. It says, "Let me ask you, deep down, what are you holding on to that is still breaking you down every day? What are you gripping so tight to that it's suffocating the very blessing God's trying to place in your life? Everything you want, everything you need, everything your soul has been begging for, it shows up the moment you surrender to God. The moment you release your grip, look up to God and whisper, I trust what's meant for me will find me and never pass me by. That is when the miracles begin and the path of peace begins. Letting go is not a weakness. That is the highest form of strength." Okay. And so give this some thought. Maybe go back and listen to it a couple of times and, really think about what it is that you are gripping onto, right? That needs to be released. Okay, that's the message I have for you for the beginning of the reading. So the cards that we got to start for the overall energy is guidance. And it says, when you make divine intelligence your foundation, you finally have a fixed star to follow. Okay, and I didn't pick these cards. These cards were pulled out. So I think this kind of goes with what basically what I was just saying in the message at the beginning of the reading. It's surrendering to the divine, and a visionary is like you're in that boat, you've released and letting the divine guide that boat being your life, right? Surrendering, knowing that what's meant for you will never pass you by and it will find you, okay? And then it says ease. It's easy for me to receive. It's easy for me to receive. It's easy for me to receive. Okay? And what I'm getting with this is the divine is guiding you to the place where something is going to be offered to you. You're going to need to be open to receiving it. So I may be speaking to someone who's used to always giving and not receiving. Maybe you're constantly doing for others or always given to others or always helped others in the past, but felt like things were never reciprocated or balanced, or you were always left out. They want you to be ready because it's your turn now. That's what I'm hearing. It's your turn. It's your turn to receive, right? Because you're no longer gripping onto the narrative, how things should go, how your life should be. No longer, I'm also hearing no longer in the survival mindset, right? You're ready to thrive. You're ready to live, right? And when you surrender, like I said in the message at the beginning, is when you surrender to the divine and you put your trust and faith in him that he's guiding you to the life that was meant for you, the person, the place, the job, the thing, all the things that you envisioned, right? That's where the peace begins, because you're no longer trying to control anything or the narrative or trying to force things, make things. I know, a lot of us are raised or have brought up that, even society makes us believe we have to go out there and we have to make things, force things. But what you're doing is you're not letting the divine bring in your path. You're creating the path, right? And which path do you think is better? The divine's path or the path you're creating for yourself, right? It's going to be the divine's path. That's where all the blessings are. That's where your true gifts are. You may have gifts, talents you're not even aware of because you've been on your own creative path that you've been forcing yourself down, right? Surviving. When you're on the divine's path, that's thriving. Okay? So really think about what you need to release so that you can be in this boat 100%, holding on to the hand of the divine as they guide you, okay? All right. And by doing this, I just got this download. It's easier. It's easy. If you're somebody who is like, you feel like it's one battle after another fight, after another battle, another disappointment, another fight, another, and when I say fight, like fighting the ways of the world, fighting to get your energy to keep pushing, keep going, all of that, that all goes away. It's easier. Your life becomes peaceful and easier when you just surrender and let them guide you. Okay? And trust that whatever is coming in for you is meant for you. Okay? Don't fear it. Embrace it. Okay, so we're going to get some more cards to clarify this, but this is all really, really good. And then we'll get some, okay, we got that one. Okay, I want that one. Okay, it is number 47. Okay, that number could be significant to you. Okay, it's also the number 11, which is a divine number. Okay, go the distance. Yeah, okay. So this is a divine number, right? And I feel like for those of you that have already surrendered and have been on that healing journey of releasing and letting go, right? It's like you're almost at the finish line and God's here saying, we're going to go the distance. I'm going to take you to the finish line. We're doing this together. That's what I'm getting with this. But it also can mean you're going the distance through your own determination with this path. I'm also getting that you're going to go the distance with maybe some signs that you got, or you could have gotten some downloads, some signs from the divine that are guiding you, and you're going to go the distance. Okay, this is a divine number, so and this, this is a cheetah. They're like the fastest cat out there. So this is, I feel like whatever's going to be coming in is going to happen quickly. And maybe whatever you're going, there's stars in here too. I'm seeing 4 stars. That can be significant to somebody. But what I'm seeing is like you're almost at the finish line. Okay, so don't give up. Those who have been on this path of surrendering for quite some time, right? Waiting for the divine to, release those blessings to you, right? And you're determined to go the distance, but you're almost there. So don't give up, okay? Keep going. Keep going. Because things are about to get, I'm also hearing, things are about to get a lot easier for you, okay? And that is going to be different for everybody. But I feel like that's the energy. It's going to get a lot easier. But if you're somebody, you need to be open to receive. This could even be like help in some fashion. If you're somebody who's not normally or has never been given help, maybe nobody's ever offered you help, or maybe maybe you've had a determination of wanting to do it on your own, something like that. Or maybe, like I said, or maybe you've just never had anybody offer you help. So you need to be open to receiving, okay? Be open to receive, even though it's, because this is being guided to you from the divine, okay? All right, let's get one more card, and then I'll get some messages from the Lighthouse box. I'm sorry, the compass box. All right, Spirit, what else does a collective need to know? What else does a collective need to know? Oh my gosh. I love the synchronicities. It's awesome. It says number 14. That number could be significant, or number 5. 5 is the number of change. It says flow with the rhythm. That's this. The guidance, going with the flow, surrendering. It says, when you make the divine intelligence your foundation, you finally have a fixed star to follow. That's going with the rhythm, going with the flow. It says, get lost in the rhythm of movement today. Okay. And what I'm getting with the movement, it's like going with the flow, going with the flow of life as things come up, or the signs that you receive, or the downloads you get, or your intuitional hits. You're just going with the flow of that, and not living so far in the future, right? You're living in the moment. And through just going with that rhythm, there's several people here in a circle, and they're all dancing. It's like you find the peace, the joy. You're able to celebrate the feeling, the ease that you're feeling, the flow that you're feeling. You may even find yourself getting lost in that feeling, right? So embrace that. You also something could be coming in that you're going to be celebrating. You need to go with the flow. Go with the flow when it comes to that. Maybe you're going to get invited to something, or as well, because you went the distance. Okay. So, let's get some messages from the compass box so we can get more information. Okay. There's quite a few here. We'll try to not spend so much time on each one of them. It says, be positive, productive, patient, and persistent. Yeah, that's you going the distance. You've been positive, you've been productive, you've been patient, and you've been persistent. Okay? And the divine has seen this, and they're proud of you. That's why things are going to get easier for you. Okay? And part of that is going with the flow, right? Not going against the tide, not swimming upstream. It says, this is your time. This is your moment. God has equipped you, empowered you, and anointed you. No weapon formed against you can prosper. Okay? You could be a light worker, a chosen one, an earth angel. But it says, this is your time. This is your moment. God has equipped you. He's been working with you in this journey, right? Teaching, rebuilding you, teaching you, and guiding you to where your true power is, equipping you with the tools that you need, because you are anointed, you are chosen, and no weapon formed against you can prosper. okay? And thank God for those blessings. Thank God for those tools and empowerment that he gave you. And your anointing, okay? Be grateful for that. Maybe you have to know the darkness before you can appreciate the light. Okay, and I think this is very important. Maybe you have to know the darkness before you can appreciate the light. Okay? And that's what the dark night of the soul, okay, is when you know your life, you become so broken, right, in the darkness that you have to, the divine rebuilds you piece by piece, right, bringing you into the light again. And sometimes that's necessary because so that you can have that higher perspective, that clear view, and those lessons in the darkness is what creates a powerful, magical miracle of transformation. Okay, if you choose, right? You can stay in the darkness or you can choose the light, right? But the darkness, the shadow side, it's meant to teach you lessons, it's meant to shape you, and it's also meant for you, because look, this is darkness right here. You know, this boat is in the darkness, right? The divine is leading you even though you are in the darkness, right? And because of that, you have a higher perspective and a deep, I'm hearing deep appreciation for the light now. Okay? So, my things don't want to stay up. Be grateful for the divine, for the journey. Because, you know, if you take a moment and look back at your journey, you're going to see how far you've come. You know, we're always about moving forward, right? And that's good, but sometimes we need to reflect on how far we've come, right? But keep staying in that deep appreciation for the light. And then value the lessons that being in the dark taught you, okay? Things money can't buy: manners, morals, respect, character, common sense, trust, patience, class, integrity, and love. Okay? These things are more important than any materialism item. I mean, you can always get more money and you can always get more stuff, but you can never use money to buy any of these things, and yet they're the most valuable, right? Not as society sees them, but as the divine sees them. It says manners, morals, respect, character, common sense, trust, patience, class, integrity, and love. These are all things money can't buy. And those things you never want to sell out for financial gain, right? Because then you are you're no longer in your alignment with your soul's purpose and the divine. Okay? So make sure that you don't sell out by losing any of these things to be what the society says that you need to be. Make it happen. Yeah, you're going the distance and you're making it happen. Okay? Because, and maybe the divine is telling you, make it happen because you know what? I've equipped you, I've empowered you, and I have anointed you. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Okay? You know, the divine does not mess with chosen ones. You know, if anybody comes against you, it will be dealt with. Okay? So don't operate out of fear or fear to pursue something, right? Make it happen. Go with the flow. It says, be thankful for what you have. You'll end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never ever have enough. Yeah. And this is that, being thankful and grateful to God for everything that He has equipped you with, being there for you, guiding you through your healing journey, bringing you out of the darkness, right? And healing you, putting all the pieces of you back together. So, and through that, you have this deep appreciation for the light, and He is honoring that. Your heart is pure now. That's what I'm hearing. Your heart is pure. The brokenness that created the impurities has been released. Your heart is now pure again. It says, be thankful for what you have. You'll end up having more. Yeah, and just be in the attitude of gratitude, right? God has planted you where you are for a reason. So be grateful for that season. Okay, even though you may not see anything yet, okay, doesn't mean it's not showing up. In fact, I feel like God's getting ready to bless you very quickly here. Could even be on the 14th. That may resonate, not for all of you. It says, it is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. Galatians 2:20. Yeah. I'm hearing you have a Christ-like heart. Who I'm speaking to, you have a Christ-like heart. Okay? And the divine has seen everything, right? And now they want you to pursue your dreams here, making them happen. If you're working on a project, make it happen. Right? You have a higher perspective and appreciation for the light. You've been anointed. You have a Christ-like heart that lives inside of you. That's what I'm hearing. Right? You understand what money can't buy. You're not going to self-sacrifice or choose money over just your morals. I'm using that as example, but any of these things, right? I have the letter K. Could be significant to somebody out there. Take it for what it resonates with you. Let's see, I'm not really getting anything off, any downloads from that. So take it as it resonates for you. Letter K. It says, make your vision so strong that your fears become irrelevant. Yeah. I'm also getting, this is what I'm also getting. This K, okay, is karma. So basically, you've done the inner work, you've done the healing. God has put you back together. You have a higher appreciation and perspective of the light. You went the distance. He has anointed you now. You have a Christ-like spirit and heart. And now your good karma is coming in. He's ready to bless you with the good karma. It's going to balance the scales, right? And you made your vision so strong that your fears have become irrelevant. Okay? That's truly powerful. And it's also a mountain. So it's like you climbed the mountain of your healing, of the darkness, as the divine guided you up this mountain, right? With that higher perspective through a spiritual awakening, I'm hearing as well. And you're fearless now, right? You see the vision and you're fearless. Let's see. If you want to improve your self-worth, stop giving other people the calculator. Okay? If you want to improve your self-worth, Stop giving other people the calculator. Okay? Don't determine your self-worth on what other people are saying, what they're doing, any gossip or anything they want to comment about you. It doesn't matter all that matters is what the divine thinks about you and what you think about yourself. Everything else is irrelevant. Okay? That's like the vision. Knowing your truth, knowing your worth, standing in your truth, right? Standing in your truth, knowing your worth, seeing your value, right? And not giving any effort or any energy to any other people to determine that for you. Okay? Because you are in the light now. God has shown you who you are through this journey, right? You have Christ-like heart and spirit within you. And you're not going to give anybody the calculator to tell you otherwise when you know the truth. So by standing in your truth, your authenticity, and knowing your worth, you'll never allow another person to determine that for you. Okay? There's always going to be people there that are going to have opinions. They're going to have their own opinion or their own idea of you. And a lot of times when they come at you with gossip or negative comments or false accusations, it's all projections because because what your healing does is it's a trigger for them to look in the mirror, and they don't want to. So what they do is they have to project everything on you to become at peace, still continue the peace of who they chose to be, right? Where they chose to settle, or where they chose to not make the decision to grow, to stay in the darkness, right? So don't let other people's projections onto your light dim your light, okay? It's your light that is triggering to them. Okay, it's like you become, when you do all this healing work, you become a mirror. And people don't always want to look in the mirror. They'll do anything to avoid it, including taking down your character, taking down any truths about you, and deliver false stories, gossip, right? Just so that they don't have to look in the mirror. Well, I can tell you, don't worry about that. Don't worry. Don't have fear about any of that, because God sees everything, and the truth always comes to light, and God always wins. Okay? And what's meant for you will never pass you by. Right? The dark energies, the devil cannot stop what God has planned for you. Okay? Says, life's not about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain. Yeah, and this is about the season. And I think that you did that. You learned and you surrender to the divine to teach you, to guide you, to grow you, to heal you while you were in the storm. Okay? And it was a huge season of growth. But what you learned is that even though you might be in a storm, there is always still a blessing. And that blessing is what it teaches you, how you grew from it, how it made you stronger, how you were able to heal and forgive the unforgivable. Right? And through that, you found peace, freedom, and yourself. Okay? So keep moving forward, staying present, appreciating where you've been planted. Beauty is power. A smile is its sword. Okay? Beauty is power. A smile is its sword. Yeah, and this is about, you could also be going through something where you're working on your beauty right now. Maybe you're going through a glow up right now when it comes to your beauty, and I'm hearing like your inside is now being reflected on the outside. You may notice like more of a glow. You may have more of an aura and a glow in your skin and your face, right? When it says a smile is its sword, it's that smile is your truth, right? The sword of truth, and the best revenge is elevation, is healing, is rising above, it's becoming the best version of yourself, not despite them, but for you, because that's what you're worthy and deserving of. Make today magical. Make today magical. You know what I'm getting from this is that this is the divine saying, I want to make your day magical. I'm going to make today magical for you. So make sure you pray to God, I'm ready to receive your magic. I'm ready to receive the miracles, and let him deliver them to you. Let him show you, what he's capable of doing. Life is beautiful. Yeah, and that's the energy you're in now. Even where you are planted right now. Because you can, and there's all these different things around here. I feel like you see the beauty in everything. It's also shaped in a heart. Yeah, and I feel like you see the beauty and radiance and love in everything now, right? Your heart is pure again. And the divine helped you heal that through that darkness. Every failure is a step to success. Yeah, and that's what the divine is saying, that you thought your past was going to hold you back, I'm hearing, or maybe you're seeing something in your life as a failure. Maybe it's a relationship, a business, a side hustle, a job opportunity that you thought you were going to get and that door closed and never reopened, right? Maybe you were forcing that to happen because now being on this divinely guided path where you've surrendered, right? Now he's ready to bring in your blessings. You know your worth now. You know the vision. It says right here, make your vision so strong that your fears become irrelevant. God may have shown you a vision of your path, and you're truly focused on that. He could even revealed your purpose and you're focused on that. Okay. Sometimes the advice you give other people is the advice you need to follow. And this person's sitting on the beach, right? What I'm getting with this is that, and take this as it resonates, but sometimes it's easier to give people advice than to take it on for ourselves, right? So just keep that in mind, right? Remember to apply your own advice, and and it doesn't have to be perfection, It doesn't. You just got to keep up, get up and keep trying, never giving up. Especially if it's like, when it comes to your healing journey or showing up for yourself, right? But take that how it resonates, because it's going to be different for everybody as far as how we offer advice to people. Or you could have been somebody in the past where you were, hanging out with dark people or people who were, or maybe you were in a toxic relationship or relationships, right? Offering advice, but not applying it to yourself. That could be someone's story. It says, signs of healthy boundaries. It says, saying no without guilt, asking for what you want or need, taking care of yourself, saying yes because you want to, not out of obligation or to please others, behaving according to your own values and beliefs, feeling safe to express difficult emotions and have disagreements, feeling supported to pursue your own goals, being treated as an equal, taking responsibility for your own happiness and not feeling responsible for someone else's happiness, being in tune with your own feelings and knowing who you are and what you believe and what you like. Yeah, and that's all about knowing who you are, right? So, healthy boundaries are also the key to success. So make sure you stand true and stand tall to holding those boundaries, right? Because you've done all this work. You've done all this work, and you don't want to backtrack, right? Because the divine is ready to deliver the magic. So keep holding those boundaries, all right? And I'm hearing, in order to elevate, you have to be willing and have the strength to let people, places, and things go. Because if you don't, it's going to keep you from your blessings. Because a lot of times, where God is taking you doesn't include who's around you, right? A lot of times you outgrow those people because you've done your healing, whereas they haven't. So now you're not in alignment with each other. So trying to hold on to something that you're no longer in alignment with is like trying to hold and hug a cactus. It's like it's going to be painful. So painful to you and painful to them. So release it with love, right? Wishing and praying for their healing, that they seek the divine, they seek the light, and you focus on your journey and the path that God has you on, okay? Don't let the behavior of others destroy your inner peace. Yeah. And that's where the boundaries come up, okay? Don't let somebody's behavior, if somebody comes in and acts, out of control or angry or wants to project onto you or gaslight you, right? Don't let that destroy your peace. Your peace is non-negotiable. Okay, you need to protect that at all costs, because a lot of people are searching for that peace and they'll do anything to destroy it. So, because they can't get it for themselves. So don't let, people, places, and things, come into your environment and destroy or disrupt. That was the first word I was coming up with. Disrupt your peace. Right? You work too hard to find it. Now it's your job to protect it. Okay? Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise. Ephesians 5:15. Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise. Yeah, and that's, maybe in the past you didn't have the wisdom, but you do now, right? And you need to take that wisdom moving forward where the divine is taking you, right? Because you're anointed. God has equipped you now for a bigger purpose. A positive mindset gives you a glow from within. Your aura radiates, your energy becomes magnetic. Okay, And I was just talking about earlier about your skin, your glow. You could be having a glow up is what I said. And it says, a positive mindset gives you a glow from within. Your aura radiates, your energy becomes magnetic. And that's the energy you're in because you've changed your mindset. You're focused on your vision. You know your self-worth, and you're not letting anyone decide that for you. Okay? And you're going with the flow with ease and letting the divine guide you and embracing the magic. Keep moving forward. Yeah, that's what you're doing. Yeah, you're going the distance. You're moving forward, going with the flow here. Keeping those boundaries and not let anybody disrupt it. Wish for it, work for it. Okay? You're no longer wishing for it. Now you put the work in. Okay, so what I'm getting with this is that you may had a vision of, maybe even had a vision board or something like that where you had an idea of what you wanted your life to be like or look like or do, right? And it says work for it. What I'm getting with this is that the work was on yourself, and now you're in alignment with that vision. That's what I'm getting very strongly. Now you're in aligned with that vision. You're in alignment now, right? God has elevated you. He's giving you the tools, right? You've understand things money can't buy and the value of those things, right? The divine has elevated you, and now you're in alignment with your vision, okay? And the work that you had to do on yourself by going the distance, keeping up those boundaries, moving forward, choosing yourself and your healing journey every day, waking up for yourself, right? Choosing to change that mindset, make those changes on yourself, and now your vision is coming into alignment, okay? You may be feeling like a shift in the air or a shift, like almost like a shift within you, that things are changing, but you just may not be seeing it yet. It's on its way in. It's on its way in very quickly here, okay? This might be something that you're going to be celebrating. I see with all these people dancing. Don't look back. You aren't going that way. Okay. For those of you where the past is tugging on you, okay, first of all, you got to let it go. You got to let it go. You have to forgive yourself and forgive the people and those situations, right? Because you're not going that way. And you're not bringing it with you. Okay? God has equipped you with everything that you need to go forward. Okay? And the more you focus on that and not looking in the rear view mirror, the more the past becomes just the past. It doesn't hold or have value in your life anymore. You've learned the lesson. All you need to do about going forward is taking the lesson with you, right? Which you are, because you're in this deep knowing and higher perspective and appreciation for the light, right? So you're whatever darkness that you may have had to go through, and I feel like I'm hearing you had to go through it to grow through it, right? It was meant to teach you and grow you so God could shape and mold you into his masterpiece, right? I'm hearing masterpiece here. I'm also seeing this as kids. I don't know if that could resonate for somebody. Don't look back. You're not going that way. So don't. So another thing I want to talk about as well is that if you're waiting for an apology or wishing you had an apology, or if you're waiting to hear back from a person or wanting clarity or answers or anything like that from somebody in your past, it is going to do you more damage holding on to that and waiting for that, because even if they do come back around, all it's going to do is reopen that wound. Okay? So what happens is, whether they do come back or they don't come back, or whether you do get that apology or you don't get that apology, either way, it's going to keep you stuck, unhealed, up in your head, and not moving forward. And you're giving your power away to that person and that situation. You got to take your power back and know you're worthy of growing, evolving, and learning the lesson from that person, and giving that closure to yourself by forgiving them, forgiving yourself, and moving forward, and no longer, and putting that boundary up. So even if that person decides to come back around, right? You've moved on. You're not willing to reopen that door, that wound, that wound that you worked so hard on healing and already pushed through. They want to come back and reopen it. No. Right? You've elevated, you rose above that. God showed you you don't need it. You have me, right? You don't need them, you have me. That's what I'm hearing. You don't need them, you have me. Okay? So please, 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 because I've even done this in the past, do not wait around for somebody's apology or somebody to come back around, okay? Because it's only going to hurt you, okay? It's only going to keep you stuck and basically swimming around and waiting. It's also puts your life on hold, okay? Your life shouldn't be on hold for anyone, right? You need to release it and let it go and learn the lesson. Take it with you. Forgive yourself for the choices that you have made at that time, right? And see it for what it was, a lesson, okay? And that you're no longer in alignment with that person, that situation, right? And you're letting it go. Okay? Because putting your life on hold is going to do more damage than it is going to be by moving forward, right? Because God has something better for you, right? And He's trying to close the door on this, and you want to keep it cracked or try to reopen it, right? But He can't bring in the new, which is better for you, if you keep trying to open an old door that He's trying to keep closed. Okay? You don't need anybody's apology. You don't need any closure. You can give that all to yourself. And like I said, the divine is here saying, you don't need them. You have me. Okay? Okay. So that's the end of those messages. I'm just going to get a final card just to close up the message. I hope this resonated. I hope you got something from this that gave you clarity on how to grow, evolve, take your power back, and shift into a higher perspective so you can get closer to the higher version of yourself, right? Which is the version that's the closest to the divine. Okay? All right. And always keep the divine number one in your life. Let's see, what else? What do we need to close up this reading? What does the collective need to know to close up this reading? Okay. It says, in every moment, the universe is conspiring to bring me toward right-minded thinking and the energy of love. Yeah. That, and I'm getting, bringing me toward right-minded thinking. That's this not looking back, moving forward, right? And through that, you're thinking in the energy of love. You know, like I've said this many times in my channel, and I'll say it again, is that, you know, the highest level of the most powerful energy is in the energy of love. You know, that's in the alignment of with the divine is the energy of love. Okay? Loving yourself, loving others, right? Having the love and respect for your past experiences, you know, releasing people out of love, releasing places and things and jobs or whatever. You're releasing them out of love, right? And that's the highest energy of all. So if you haven't done that, you know, you may want to sit down and release those things out of love, because by doing so, it frees yourself, right? It frees you to not look back, because you're not going there. You're not going that way. You're going forward, because the divine is getting ready to guide you to your blessings. Okay? And those blessings are in the energy of love. Okay? All right, that's the message I have for you on this Monday. And I hope it's resonated with you. And I'm sending you so much love and light. Take care. Bye.